tile roofs and stucco and,
But
you know,
she's talking about quality
some
finishes.
wood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can do high performing,
Oh, look at you, came ready
panels.
for this, wonderful.
She knew we were gonna be all.
You know, you
over
can,
it.
I mean, there's a lot
Oh.
of different styles. I only just started pulling a few. This is by no means representative of how we see the design going, but I was trying to start to capture that you have, this is a very different look than this, then something like this, then something like this, then something like this. I mean, there's a whole array of styles.
I don't want a stone clad monolith.
Yeah.
The town was
One
okay
glass
with
stone.
the NMR look.
Okay.
And you could probably go look at their
Okay.
website and base it on
Well,
that.
sure.
They're Cal Poly guys,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Did you see
drive
this?
it.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
You don't like
it's
it?
not,
But we could dress it up a little bit.
it's a little cheap, but they do a lot with what they're doing.
Steve,
Yeah.
you didn't have to say the Cal Poly type, that's gonna totally,
Okay, all right, sorry.
Yeah.
No, but I'm sorry, that's a problem.
That
I'm
was-
gonna-
that was not nice,
Sorry.
okay.
You guys go to Cal Poly.
But I think one of the things
We haven't
I'm
seen-
not necessarily in favor of showing this kind of thing at the public workshop or getting into a discussion of taste.
Right.
No.
Even
But
to
what
the
she's
very
asking
end.
is, when you build a home in Atherton, is it a $450 foot home, or is it an $850 foot home, or a $1,250 foot home?
Right.
That's what they're trying to dial in.
Right.
And people build all of them in Atherton.
Right, and I think appropriately for long-standing, durable, high-performing civic buildings, you're in a $500 square foot range.
And isn't that what we said
We're
last
never
time?
gonna
with
do this
Phil
again.
Lawrence?
Yeah.
I think that's what we said last time.
Yeah, so I'm looking for, 50-year buildings,
$500.
LEED Gold level of performance, high-performing all around, highly sustainable design, and, durable, easily maintainable materials.
So I think if part of the presentation gonna be these numbers, as soon as this thing gets around, you're going to be
So this
roasted.
This might be a good segue to run you through what we should and shouldn't present at the public workshop next week. So I'm gonna really skip through these front slides pretty quickly.
Do you believe you have consensus from the group on the,
I feel like I do, I didn't see anybody like, no,
What I would
cheaper.
recommend is, we did a cost study under the town center task force did a cost study. It's
Okay.
public record.
Yeah,
Staff
I
can
think I've seen
give
it.
it to you.
I think I have it.
It had a per square foot estimate that the council didn't blanch at, and I think it was of that magnitude, but
I
we
think
could
it
be wrong.
was, I'll go back and take a look, I'll look at the year it was done, I'll talk to my cost estimator about probable, escalation and whatnot.
that's
And-
one of the things, we've asked them to include all the soft
Yeah,
costs,
and we're
as
gonna
well as,
build that up
as
as
well
well.
as to escalate this to a midpoint of construction,
Right.
which then means if it comes earlier or later, we have a
Right,
date
you
and a
know
number
what the
attached with
basis
it.
was.
Oh, that's a license, yeah.
Okay,
I just
so,
have one question, Cheryl.
yes.
What was the decision about lead?
Remember him?
I mean,
I
are we not even trying
heard
to
a goal, so lots of, the state and many counties and cities have a minimum LEED silver standard, as does the UC system. In all of our meetings, even starting with the very first public meeting, we heard a desire for a very highly sustainable building, which in our experience, you would pretty much set at LEED Gold or better as an equivalent understanding of a standard. We're not seeing huge premiums associated in costing longer with achieving that either. I mean, that's been diminishing. It's just good practice, and with a lot of the materials and equipment available out there now. I mean, on another project we're doing for Marin Sheriff, I mean, we're LEED Gold, and it hasn't been a stretch or anything extraordinary to get there. The design of the building is already dictating a certain level of quality and performance that, gets you right there. So that's been our understanding of where this should be placed.
So is that compatible
Yeah.
with the cost estimate range that
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Yeah, and, that's the kind of, and we've already folded that into our instructions to our cost estimator to get her started. And then we can go back and forth with staff to refine, make sure we've got the right points and things set. Okay, so I think this is the last thing on my agenda I really wanted to touch on, and I want to run through, I've got this draft presentation going for the workshop next week, and I want to get some feedback on what should be in and out, and what should be our main goal in feedback from the public. And it's going to be at the park this time, not in this room? Is that
It's
where-
gonna be at the, yeah.
Okay, so, I'm just gonna give them an overview of what we've been doing, and then we're gonna be reviewing our draft master plan and then talk to them about next steps. That's all we're gonna try and do. here's our process and where we are, here's all the stuff that's happened, we're here today at the public workshop, there's gonna be a final presentation. Here's all the things we've been doing, talk about, we've done all our analysis, the community outreach, now we've developed a single scheme that we're here tonight to talk about. We have initiated and will continue to work on, pulling together cost estimates and phasing with the committee. Here's what happened, you guys, some of you were there, blah, 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 our analysis. So here's a question. Do I show anything at all about our area? Because I keep getting questions, how big is it? How do you want to address
Well,
that?
your block says approximately.
And that's how we leave it, that's where we
I
are?
think it's on the plan.
It's on the
Yeah,
It's on the
plan?
plan.
I can leave it there and just delete, okay, so I won't have any
I
such,
would tell you, optional firing range will get us firing.
so I won't have, I will not have
We'll be at
any,
the end, next to the targets.
I'll have no information on the rest of the program.
Sorry, that's not gonna make it.
So I will
But
let
that's
that
where
out.
No, if you
I'm
have
not
a
gonna
donor,
say
then nobody
anything.
cares.
Don't say it.
No, but if Dee Dee can bring in a donor, then it's
If
fine.
we can bring in a donor for that, we'll deal with
Yeah.
it when we have it. But what I don't wanna do is
Yeah.
cause a hysterical fit
It'll be in
over
the
that.
park.
So I won't
That's
have a
nowhere
slide.
on this.
Yeah, it's nowhere on there.
I noticed,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking.
I will not
we
have a
shouldn't
slide like
that.
this.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
good.
This
It
is more,
just
that was more of an
confuses them on the
ignorant
That's fine, that's totally
Because
good.
what we've told them is you're not paying for it, except for the
Right.
money we already have.
Right. And they wanna know how big it is, it's like,
Yeah.
well, look at the plan. That's gonna be about how much space it takes up on the site. 2 stories. So then I'm gonna walk through, here's what we went through with all of you at the outreach meetings. We had started with 3 options, you all commented. We asked you to comment specifically on these different points, here you all are, who participated. We generated these, images, diagrams, all for the record, and then we developed a synthesis of everything we heard. I might spend a little time on walking through this.
Probably change bullet point 2.
Yes.
Oh, yes, and I will
Yes.
change that based on today's conversation. And I think I'll phrase it like Elizabeth was talking that,
Defer to
I'll
staff.
just take out the first part and I'll just say, defer to staff preferences, and so our scheme will show you what we've decided.
I don't even think the word preference, it's the
Or
first staff for most
requirements.
efficient
Yeah,
solution.
yeah.
That's really what we heard.
Sounds
I
like
would, I just think we should just.
Why do we need to say it at
We
all?
don't need to say anything at all.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say
It's here.
It's here.
The
Yeah.
courtyard just is
Courtyard.
here. It's just
Yes.
part of the center.
Courtyard, part of the
Yeah.
program. Okay, and then, so I go through that, so I'll make those adjustments, on all the different things that we heard and synthesized, here's kind of the big picture summary. So from that, then we're gonna have a whole colored version after today's refinements and stuff, so we'll prepare that. And so then the idea was, so here's where we are, walk them through this, and, Matthew and I will work on this, but sometimes what helps is, okay, we're gonna blow up this area, we're gonna walk you step by step with blow-ups all the way across the site, so that they can understand what's happening in each major zone. And, then my question was, do I go any further? Because, I could start pull photographs of different landscape images. Okay, good.
No.
I've been feeling really uncomfortable with that, so I prefer to just actually
with the
stop
plan.
here
Yes.
after we
Yeah.
walk them
Yeah, because
through.
we're not into architectural.
Right,
This is
we're
a
not
site
going
plan.
at all.
And somebody's gonna get mad at the look.
Right,
Yeah.
right, so I'm gonna skip all that, and then really after
You know what
we,
would be nice?
yeah,
I don't know if you guys can do perspectives or if
yeah,
it's a perspective of what it would feel like to be in the town center. I guess you have to show a building there.
Yeah, you don't wanna do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And look,
No,
we have-
For site plan.
we believe me, we've actually
Yeah.
done a little SketchUp model when we were playing with 2-story, 1-story, and I've been talking about it internally, and
No,
it's
they're
like,
not
no,
attracted to
it's a
seeing
slippery
that.
slope. Cause if we show a big neutral, white box, oh my god, it's a white box!
It's a big wow.
You can't win. So I think we're
Yeah.
gonna stay completely away from that. I think people are gonna have to imagine in their own minds when we say it's a 2-story building, what does a 2-story house look like?
How big is the plan gonna be? Just,
Some people can't see.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
some
it'll
people
be
can't
huge.
see.
It will
Can
be up
can
on
it-
screen and we'll have a big board.
Yeah, we'll make
Okay.
it.
As big as we can get a board for,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
I have
Yeah.
one question about the square footage that's on the plan here.
yeah.
And I don't know if this would be a point of contention or not, and I guess I'll put this to the committee. Would it be more politically palatable to break the library up into two sections
Library.
Yeah.
and making that L
Yeah,
proposed,
Yeah.
so it kind of downsizes the square
Yeah.
footage of the
Yeah.
library.
A
I'll do
dotted
that.
line
I
there.
like that.
yeah.
So it makes it appear not like 9,000 square
Right.
feet.
No, but put like multi-purpose or
Yeah.
something.
I'll do that.
Community room or something.
Yeah.
Possible.
Thank you.
So then I'll wipe out, any of these suggestions of image or anything, I'll take that out of it. And so after we walk them all through, the idea will be have discussion, get feedback, hear questions, whatnot, and just use the time for discussion and input from the public. And then wrap it up with next steps. We have another meeting with the committee, and then there will be a final presentation in January.
But I think there's been some questions about the police space also, 16,000 square feet. So I think we want to stay away from that.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not
No, we-
16,000.
No, no,
It's 14 now.
14 at the most.
Yeah, it's not
But
that
It's
important.
what you're looking at is the loaded.
Yes,
That's the gross up.
And-
And I think the gross up is, that's,
And I've also added in, there is an ancillary building function that had a lot of storage, unconditioned storage, thing like that. If you have your garage, you can stick it under there, so that's actually covering that as well.
I mean, if
That's
you
why it's a
go,
little
if you
bigger.
go to gross up, it's 16,000.
Yeah,
if
well,
you
definitely.
look at her, the chart, that she had, the police department is actually above grade only 11,319 square feet, not with the gross up. And then the lower level with their evidence, room, their
And all the
security
ancillary
We're gonna copy
storage.
it.
We don't have that.
Oh, is that one?
You gotta be on the
It was,
inside.
no, it was sent to
It was,
you.
oh, that's the thing, was
So
in
that's
the.
what,
It
no,
was
here
in
it's,
your email.
maybe it's,
Yeah, that's the whole detail that was sent
this
to
is
the
for
subcommittee.
Thursday's
Right,
meeting.
for the subcommittee.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay,
We
got
haven't
it.
seen that
All
yet,
right.
for a minute, we just picked it up, so.
And so basically, the numbers, if we want to give numbers, the city management and finance area is 1,829 square feet, 1,800 square feet for the city manager and finance. The planning, building, and public works is only 2,300 square feet, 2,295. That's net, that's not gross up.
I mean, one of the ways I've been handling it when I've gotten that question is to say, the city administrative departments, including building and planning, are very similar in size to how they are now. A little bit of additional space to make them more functional. The library has some growth as well for the same purpose. It's grown about, 1.5 times the size it is now. And the police was grossly undersized and non-functional. And it's growing from about 1.5 to 2 times the size it is now.
It's not in this one.
And leave it at that.
Yeah,
And just not go into numbers at all.
but looking at,
Well, there'll be something that'll come up with numbers when they give us cost
yeah.
estimates.
Right,
Yeah.
but, I think that's, I'll be looking to how you guys wanna manage that.
No,
when we
but there's
talk
a
about that.
parking garage in there, we've already, half of
Yeah.
that's the parking garage.
That
Or
is.
25,000.
Yeah,
The-
30,000, yeah.
Can I tell you what the really big picture is? Because I think you're worried about me, and you don't need to be so
I
worried.
am so worried
I know,
about
always.
this.
But they're showing, maybe I'm missing, there's a bunch in the garage that I'm not thinking about. They're showing a 21,000 foot building.
Yeah,
Okay. And that's about what the Blue Ribbon Task Force.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
we're really close.
And the Town Center Task Force, I think, was 18 because we just slashed it.
Yeah,
you're right, 25%.
we're much
So
closer to
we're
the
within-
limited number. We're within
We're
a
in the
few
zone that
thousand
we've
square
been
feet.
talking about for a long
Mhm.
time.
With the exception of the garage, because that was a new
And
introduction.
then and then the next thing I think we're going to talk on this agenda is what's the process for evaluating the square footage? And, my debate is, I think we wait, but we can debate if we do it now, because it's kind of circular, when do you do
I
it?
think
My suggestion is that, Madam Mayor.
But we can have that discussion.
Yeah, is that you do it later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be my suggestion too, unless you have some real issues
so-
with
It's
how
a
you
lot
do
of
your
work to
fundraising.
really do it.
and we don't need to do it now.
No.
We need to do it with the architect and the design.
You're-
And if you wanted to have, if you're worried about cost, then you just say this is what HMC came up with, it's 21,000 feet.
This is
For
what we're
this
gonna
component,
raise, this is our
This is
budget.
what the Town Center Task Force was 18.
Right.
So you can have a 3,000 foot range, and
Yeah.
this big a project, it's gonna be nominal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna start the cart,
Yeah,
But we need to show if it's nominal.
or not nominal, but it's not gonna sink the boat.
look at Dee Dee.
Yeah.
What's nominal to you, Steve, maybe.
But it's a 5 to 10% difference.
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
the city council in January
We'll
is
go
gonna
through
be
it when we go
approving
through it.
this
Yes.
with those numbers and a cost estimate based on some detail connected to this number.
Right.
And that's as far as you need to go
Yep.
until you get to
And
the
then-
architect.
You're
Actually,
not listening, you're not listening to
Sorry,
something
Dee Dee and I were-
silly.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know, you can't have sidebars,
Sorry.
without everybody else.
the city council in January is gonna be
We'll
selecting.
selecting an
preferred
alternative, and then the environmental review needs to be done, which then will be packaged with all this, and then come back to the city council to adopt the master
And
plan.
at that point, then the architect
Then
gets
we hire an
involved, and then we narrow
architect,
the.
then we
Right.
review
Right.
police stations
We're
and
gonna be
what the
raising money.
chief wants.
You're raising money, you'll have a
Based on
sense of
their
how
numbers.
much you can raise, you'll be able to target a budget at
Well,
that point.
it may take us more than 2 months to figure out how much we can raise, but
Right.
Are we gonna,
we'll be out.
are we going to hire the architects before we raise any money?
No,
It's a good question.
We-
You
we-
probably want to get a feel
We have
for
to have some
things.
money to pay an architect.
Yeah.
But you need a little sizzle to get the money.
I
I
think
think
that the
the
site
sizzle-
plan,
maybe
we're
some
moving
sizzle-
forward.
sizzle to
I
the
think
plan.
what the donors really want to see and
Yes,
want to
they-
hear right
Might be
now
enough.
is that we are moving forward and we're not going to stumble and fall.
Mhm.
And, you know, this is really going to be a reality. I think that there's been so many people that have been doubting Thomas's and not wanting to, you know, fund or step up to the plate because it, you know, you guys have been messing around with this for so long, it's going to be a reality. And I think this committee and the staff, you know, everybody's pushing forward. The community's really behind this.
I'm curious what Jim thinks. Jim, do you think we should hire an architect first?
Well, here's part of the problem. When you go out for money like you did in Portola Valley, some of the people say, I'll put the money in escrow. So they put in many, many millions in escrow. And they say, however, we don't want to spend until you've got all the money. In other words, until you got all you need.
Yeah.
Right.
That means that we wouldn't have cash. We wouldn't be able to spend that money until, you know, we had got all the money. Now, I don't know if that's, I don't know how we're gonna raise the money, but
Well,
that's certainly one of the concerns.
Well,
but we
Jim,
still have
the
money.
presentation to the starting donors will be that we need 1 or 2 of you to give us money to start.
Give us $200,000 to go do
No,
schematic
more than
drawings.
More than that.
Or you mean seed gifts? Yeah, but one route is to
No.
do
No,
schematics.
no.
Right.
No.
So
we've done
we're gonna
that.
ask them for.
No, you wouldn't do schematics?
And then, no,
No.
and then we also have money on the building department, right? The building department.
Yes, we do.
Which we can use on the building
And
department.
the library fund.
Yes, and the library has
Their
money to
design.
start
Yeah, I mean,
also. So
from what
we
you
have-
told me, it sounds like you have some funds in hand that represent most of the portions of the project. That,
Except the
you know,
police.
if you wanted to,
It's an accounting entry to move money from one
right,
account
you
to
could
the other. We
use some
could
of
borrow
that if
from
you
the building
needed
fund.
to start the
Well,
project.
But I think to
Reimbursements
keep
in.
it really clean, considering the
Yeah.
voters have
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
no, town
Absolutely.
money.
Yeah,
We need to get $1 million or $2 committed that will say, start this thing going, get the architectural.
That's
And I
what
think,
That's
we
what
can
we
do
want.
that.
Okay, and
Money
then,
that can be spent.
correct,
Yeah,
and
money
then
that
the
can
rest,
be spent.
if people want us to escrow it, I mean, John Arriaga gave them $1 million in Portola Valley and said, when you start building a library, come and collect it. We may have that kind of thing happen. We'll see what,
Okay. Ooh, you said it.
Right.
I think this is everything on my agenda. I think this is everything on my agenda. Okay, we wanted to cover, unless there's anything else you guys think I've missed.
No?
But, you know, we'll make the changes and finish out this presentation. We'll make the adjustments that we've talked about that Matthew's been already sketching.
On this one, for the cost estimation,
Yes,
the only thing that jumped out to me was, I didn't totally understand the numbers, I haven't been through the whole package, but,
Right.
the common areas, you had 67, 27, and then you added another 10. And I didn't, just trying to think, you had a gross up, you added another 10%. So I
Yeah,
wondered if
so-
that was double counting.
no, so one of the things Gordon asked the same question.
Yeah,
So
10%.
basically, all the numbers before that 10% get you all your internal circulation within departments, all your actual usable spaces,
This one here.
you know, everything, you know, mechanical rooms, toilets, stairs,
Right.
elevators, that's all programmed. And it gets you the circulation, like, between an office and a workstation, between workstations. What it's not getting in the last 10%, which, you know, you could debate, could be 5, you know, but what it's not getting is the thickness of all the exterior walls, shafts, some of those last bits
Pretty
and
big,
pieces.
but maybe on a smaller building, it's big like that.
Yeah, I mean,
On an
that's
office
a,
building, it's like 2 or 3%.
right, so,
gross,
you know,
yeah.
that's something like I might dial back down to 5, you know, for feeling fairly confident, you know, we'll talk back
Okay.
and forth.
So
with
it's saying
costs too.
and you do it through development?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, what, you know, what I've been trying to do is sort of protect the numbers so that you actually can lay out the building, because I know we've got, you know, we're gonna have some some challenges, I think, when somebody goes to design the building of getting all the adjacencies to work and all the different entrances and things like that, but I can easily.
You refine it during, but you don't
Yeah.
wanna get caught, so it's
No.
ample.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't want it to be like 15 or 20, but I didn't want to make it too chintzy either.
But for the library, for instance, even at $400 or $500 a square foot, we've still got plenty of money.
Right, yeah, right. And we're not putting underground parking under the
No.
library.
Just for the courtyard.
Absolutely.
It's
Just be a
we're
lawn
gonna
of
put
trees
the
you
porch
kill on the way
library.
over.
But
Okay,
no, we're not. Okay. So
so I know you guys have more stuff on your
yes,
agenda, right?
and, discussion of reason, okay, you did that, okay. So, we're gonna continue on and you guys can,
Pack up and
and
on our
be
way.
on your way.
Yes,
If
thank you.
Matthew wanted to leave any of his sketches for us to peruse,
There you go, I'll tell you what,
you're gonna show us the one
I'll
last
take a
one?
picture
Take a picture
and
and
email it to Gordon.
email to Gordon.
And I can print it out.
Is that
or
Jesus?
send it
No. This is a lodging ceremony, I don't know what this woman was doing, just a big overload.
Oh, the lodge and the ceremony.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Not yet.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
I wouldn't show this
I don't think we want it to bring religion into this
Thank
stuff.
you.
That was a change,
Okay, so,
I don't know why I got this.
next week at, on the 11th, it's at Jennings Pavilion in the park. Have you
Okay.
ever been there?
Yes, we walked around there, we've
Okay.
been in, looked at it, you know, but
Good.
we haven't ever set up in there, so we'll just work with you guys to make sure we know what we have to bring and all that.
Well, thank you. Okay, we'll work on it. So let's go on, it's at 6, from 6 to 8.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday from 6 to 8.
Steve?
No, it's next Wednesday, sorry, next
No,
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
11th.
correct, yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
why
still
I
easier
showed
with
them
the
wrong
meeting.
day.
I know, well, I've done that before.
So,
You know-
question, can we all be there, is this a,
Pardon?
It's a publicly noticed ADA meeting, right?
Yes, mm-hmm.
so we can all be there?
Yes, everybody, yeah, because it's public notice. So, item number 6 on our agenda is ad hoc committee reports. There is nothing to report from the library ad hoc committee. The police department program committee recommendations, we've already heard, and it was incorporated into the, program, a range of 10 to 14,000 square feet, right? We did that last time. There's a staff report on review process, that's
Take
included.
that time, Mayor, if you want.
Okay,
Basically, actually, we concluded that discussion earlier. There's really no need for the committee to meet on Thursday like we originally recommended. If we're taking the gross number off the plan, and that's what's going to the public, and then when we get to the architectural phase, then we'll fine tune those numbers even more with the subcommittee.
Okay, I
Does that
have
sound
one,
good?
well, it sounds good, but I have, when somebody says, who's gone over these numbers at that point, and we say only staff, I'm leaving the room.
who's gone over these numbers? I think, well, what Cheryl said earlier is that for the admin and planning, finance, building, it's really pretty much the same square footage. It's what, 10% more, did you say?
10, 15, it's very minimal
Just
change.
for functionality.
So what are we showing for the police department? That's the only,
That's
that's
the
the
one
that's
that's
shown.
14,000.
Okay, and that 16 that's on here, just ignore it.
They're not gonna see that.
No.
That's
Okay.
grossing it up.
Yeah.
Finish
And
that.
if anybody asks, we're going to corroborate all these numbers with the architect at the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We don't need to wait.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we won't meet on the
Great.
5th, great.
Thanks for moving the weekend.
You're welcome. So the outreach ad hoc committee, we have an outreach committee here, and we realized that we hadn't done any formal outreach for the December 11th meeting. It's just that there had been so much going on with all the neighborhood outreach meetings, and so I was wondering from our committee, one of my ideas is to ask if staff would have time to do a little postcard mailing this week. Is it too late?
I can good at email, as much email as we can.
Yeah, we can hammer email for sure.
And then, what printers can print really that fast when it's Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, we did, last time what we did is we did it in-house, and I hand addressed 2,000 cards. Okay?
Don't do that again.
So, but we can put labels on, or we can print it.
Well, there's a list of people, emails, I believe, that went to the outreach committee meetings.
Right.
We can
Everyone
email
gave us
blast
a-
every single one of those that participated in the outreach meetings, plus the regular.
Right, and then, to me, that sounds much like a much better use of time right now. Maybe put something in the almanac, that says people are reading it.
Thank you.
And
I can ask, but.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
See you guys. See you guys.
Thank you. Man, just try to just do that.
Thank you.
This
Glad
next
you're
Wednesday.
ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This Tuesday.
You guys are getting it's the advertising job.
In the Almanac Tuesday, is that what you're saying?
Are you talking about advertising for the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, just-
sticker on the almanac,
Yeah.
on the outside.
Or does the almanac still let you, put inserts in? You know,
I don't know.
What is it?
I don't know.
the
I think
regular
the
insert
sticker,
page?
there's
It's
a
expensive.
longer lead time
Yeah.
than now, and it's really
It's pretty expensive.
expensive.
Really?
Yes.
And-
I've used it.
No doubt.
It used to cost a couple $100 to get an insert put in everyone, and that goes to the paper, but not everybody in town gets them.
No, yeah,
Which is
And nobody ever looks at the inserts in my opinion.
yeah. I don't even look at the Drager's insert.
No,
When
I don't.
shop
No,
there, you
it's
know.
insert, it's awesome, yeah.
Okay,
This is what
so
you-
I think the
Oh, it's
emails
supposed
and
to
the
be done, yeah.
Athertonians and, you know, just,
And the neighborhood
and the
groups.
neighborhood
Yeah.
groups.
Well,
Okay, just
Also
email.
postcards, I don't know. I think postcards are effective.
They are effective, yeah.
But I'm
Not
hearing
too
from
late.
staff
Too
it's
late.
too late to get them to do it.
Too late.
Not enough lead time to get them out in time for people.
What is the lead time for a postcard?
Probably about a week and a half.
Wow.
And the meeting was
I
We
think
did
it's
it.
a lot.
We did it.
Yeah.
I've done them in a lot less time than that.
We need to use a third party. Do you use the third party or do it all internally? Third party?
So,
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I can't,
No, don't do it yourself. Don't-
No.
don't.
to print out, well,
Without.
I think the email is very effective.
And we'll get it to the Athertonians, we'll get it to the LHA, we'll get it to the 1,800 or so emails that we have townwide, plus all the people that have participated in the.
Is there any way to get an image in the body of that email? Because the ones with like a 5-word sentence and click here, a lot of people just don't.
no, don't click, yeah, no clicking.
But how do you get an image into the email
The
itself?
bigger email, the Atherton online that we send out, does have images.
It has images,
Yeah,
okay.
and we
Because
can-
that makes a
we'll do it that way
huge
instead of
difference.
Yeah.
using-
I'm just not sure how effective emails are. I mean, everybody doesn't look at them. I get so many emails, I delete them.
Is the insert really only $200?
Ding, ding, ding,
No.
At the
no,
almanac?
I'm sure it's
and
more
Easy.
than that. And,
Delete all
again,
this
it's a
stuff.
longer lead time, you know, because they have to have already had it,
And
you
stuff.
know, and
I
they have
vote
to
for
send it.
postcard. I think we should be able to do it in less than a week and a half.
How much of a
Jim,
process it is
it's
to,
Christmas.
is it just to
Getting a printer to get it
redo
done,
the-
and then
the
getting
writing on the old-
labels
the-
on is,
the older
if you
postcards?
wanna
Yeah.
stay up.
Just
I'm
use
not
the same
asking
front.
you to send
Oh,
them
so,
Redo the
so
back.
We have a
staff,
good
actually, staff created that
Well,
here.
Printers, then you gotta,
in-
we're gonna have to
in
do
the
all the
office,
labels
Right.
and
And
addressing.
they could just create a new one, and they printed it. They printed it. And then.
You know, if you want 100, you could run them off yourself and send them out to your friends, and the rest of them can just go out and email. I mean, I think email is
But we'd have
perfectly
to
efficient.
print the stickers, you know, we'd have
You
to,
could go home and hand address them to 100 of your friends.
I
Took
can
about
get, I have
6
a
hours to
printer
start.
who can turn it around right away,
Mhm.
by tomorrow, and get it out.
Do we have
You know.
cards? Is it just the same art as last time?
You know, the printer, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now, Craftsman, Colorcraft. He'll do it, and I send him the voter file, and he'll do it. right
He'll ship
away.
it?
Yeah, he'll move and merge it and stamp it and everything, and
Yeah.
it'll be gone.
What's it cost?
Size are good.
Well, it probably cost, $900, $1,000.
I think it's,
14?
if it could really happen and
14,
it's not a
was it
nightmare, I
14?
think
I
it's
agree
worth
with
it.
For a little
I do too.
postcard?
I think it's, because the whole
I
point
really
is
do.
legitimacy of the process.
Yep.
Color
100%.
postcard.
And people will remember, I got the postcard, even if they didn't go,
Right.
like, they did it, I got a notice, I got an email, I got it in my
Not
mailbox.
white, no,
Not white.
it's gotta be what color?
Well, I think orange
Orange.
is a good color.
You love orange. Orange is your favorite color.
No, I just.
No, it's Marion
It-
Oscar's
it
favorite
should look
color.
like the last one.
But
It's just
orange or
consistent.
green or
It
red.
should be whatever color we're gonna use for this process, and I don't know that we've established it.
We
haven't.
don't have a logo yet.
Do we have the card from that
No, we don't.
last time?
What's that?
The
There was a
card
card
that-
that went last time, wasn't it green?
Do you think that that was an
Green
effective
looks like-
card?
I do, actually.
Do you?
I'm-
The-
I mean, I know that we
The little
nitpicked it a little
squiggle,
bit.
the little
I
squiggle.
know we
Well-
nitpicked it, but I thought it got attention, I really do, so,
All I would say is,
I
this,
think
that's my opinion.
if we had a month to, you guys had a month to rethink it, come up with great graphics, but you got a day.
No,
Yeah.
Judy,
You don't have a day, it's
Go,
gonna.
go with the thing that looked like the last
That's what I'm saying,
one.
just use the last one and
Yeah.
change
redo the message.
Yeah.
All right.
And we can get it
No,
out. I
no,
mean, if
they
you wanna
say,
do that,
no, that's
work
not
on
it.
that
It's
tomorrow or
the
something.
theme, it's the
Yeah.
same
I
process.
can do that. I can do that. I'll make that
Color
happen. It'll go out by, it'll go out no later than Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah, they'll have it Saturday,
Seriously?
Monday,
That's
meetings
good.
Wednesday.
That's amazing.
That's almost too soon. I mean, there's something to be said for arriving like
Monday.
Monday, actually.
Well, that's right.
So you don't forget about it.
No,
Sooner the
that's
better.
not fine.
I think you're on it. You go, Elizabeth, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's the
No.
last week,
I'll
it's
get
the last
Judy
week
to.
school's in, I meant.
No, no. School's not out until the 20th.
Some schools.
Still a school.
That's pretty normal. That's pretty normal, that's fine.
The 11th.
Yeah.
But there's, you know, there are holiday things.
We'll get
like
his,
exams.
stamp, his, bug,
And
his
you know,
postal bug.
the Friends of the Library just did a huge mailing recently. We took it all into the post office on Thursday night. By the following morning, Friday, we got ours in the mail. Amazing.
God bless the post office.
Yeah.
I want to know where our post office is going to be in our building. And, yeah,
Right by the parking.
On the corner.
Underground.
yeah.
Not
And-
in the garage,
In the garage.
next to the shooting
Are we
range.
going to expand
Yeah.
it? How many square feet have they
Does
allocated
you have
for
any
our
postal
post
right?
We're
office?
not
180.
talking about,
It should be next to the Starbucks.
Yeah, I like that idea.
On the roof next to the antenna.
Next to the senior housing.
That's right.
Were you there, Jack Brigham at the housing? element?
okay, so are we done doing this?
Are you calling
Are we-
a motion?
Okay,
Yeah,
Madam
what are
Mayor,
we
before you do
missing?
that, I'm gonna have Judy / Teresa send you the editable file,
Oh, you
and
don't
the
have
last
that.
postcard that went out. So you can-
Time to get that.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you, just wait on
Okay,
that.
great, all right.
Thank you.
So formation of other ad hoc committees, not at this time, right?
This is the Holly, you just go to
And,
the party
any
and
other
listen.
comments? Yeah.
Next week
Okay,
party.
good. Thank you, that'll be
What
fun.
do you mean, like a souvenir?
We're going to adjourn.
No, it's gonna change again, so
Adjourn.
I'm not gonna do a back.
Second.